Oh yeah, got it. Got it. All righty, peaceful greetings, world. How's everybody doing on this lovely Moon Day Monday? I am Brother Shining Ale, and we are here at the Northwest of Maxim, the North Gate, and I'm here with my magnificent bros.
Benjamin Bay, how you doing? Just showing him North Gate. You see that?
Check it out. Check it out.
I was telling my check, but yeah, I'm chief of Namaste to y'all. Peaceful greetings. Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here at Morocco at Northwest of Maxim, the North Gate to where Brother Benjamin is clearly leaning back so you guys can peep over his shoulder to see where we are broadcasting from. All righty. It's all good. All right, Islam Moor. So we got a few brothers in the background in the box kicking it with us, still. So it's all good. Your brothers can stick around if you want, but Brother Sean and Brother Benjamin have an awesome presentation for you all. So I yield. I'm here just to assist my magnificent brothers in whom I'm well pleased. Islam.
Yeah, let me get this screen share going for us.
They're digging the instrument. Hey, yo.
Brother Corey about to start rapping.
I don't have my 16 ready. I don't have my 16.
All right, let me get that. All righty. So throw that. All right, we're gonna hit another screen share. All righty. Once again, thank you all. Is that showing the whole screen, bros, or is that just showing?
Yes. It's I can see your
slides on the side.
Yeah, I can see that on the side also. It's all.
Do you see like the layout and all that too over there?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Why won't it let me?
You want to see your full screen slideshow mode? Put it in.
Yeah.
You want to go in to that mode?
Trying to go in the slideshow mode. Let's see where we are.
It's not Spaceball.
Let's see, play Spaceball. There we go. All righty.
Intuition. While we're flying it, yes.
There we are. Mondays, bring it to you, presenting Jupiter conjunct Neptune. These are like a past and global presentation, right? And of course, honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm skipping past that. Like, oh goodness, it's just rolling on along, ain't it?
Wow.
Keep rolling.
You go back click for click, I guess.
There we go. I think
it's really playing the slideshow, isn't it?
Wow, it said Mars to the floor here. Where's
got the automatic presentation?
Yeah.
Wow.
All righty. Let's see.
Saturday Mars terms right now.
That's amazing.
All righty. So honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali for everything that he brought. And for those who ain't heard about him, we'll be trying to hide him. We're about to see him a whole lot more. All right. And we're gonna quote Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Stop it.
Oh, this is lovely.
All right. Time never was when man was not, right?
Yes,
words Noble Drew Ali, and I'm gonna just go and get right on into it, right? All righty. So the first chart we'll be covering will be the past Neptune Jupiter conjunction from 2009. And then the next chart will be the current, right? So let me get that going. So December 20th of 2009, at 2200 hours, 50 minutes and 40 seconds, we had Jupiter and Neptune conjuncting. So if we look here, give me the little arrow, but we have Virgo on the rise at 8 degrees and 8 minutes. And that is at the degree of mixing and blending. And Mercury rules Virgo and also rules Gemini, and that is at 19 degrees 34 minutes Capricorn, and that is at the degree of the Pluto south node. So Mercury will be, the chart ruler for this. He will be delineating what I'm about to go in on, right? So if you look to the 6 here, we have Jupiter and Neptune. They're at 24 degrees 27 minutes Aquarius and the 6th house. And Jupiter and Neptune was at the oh my goodness. All right, I think I'm gonna just.
You're gonna go slide for slide?
Yeah, man, y'all just look from here and let's see. I can probably zoom it in so that y'all can really see it. There we go. All right, so here we go with the flow. All righty, so we have Jupiter and Neptune. So for Jupiter, when it comes to being in Aquarius at 24 degrees, we can look at just a social philosophy, a social healing, and, just bringing opportunities to grow through the group for those, right? And we have Neptune there as well. So when it comes to the illusions, as what Neptune's rule over, there's an opportunity here for some self-undoing dreams and also a time to start a new routine. So with this previous conjunction back from 2009 with Jupiter and Neptune being in the 6th house for Kailua, Hawaii, in this Cancer zone area, it was just opportunity to really put things in order for, for any kind of labor or any kind of work, just on the bigger scale. But on the personal scale, this was an opportunity to grow, with Jupiter ruling philosophy and wisdom. You have an opportunity to grow, whether it be by social media or within your groups. And with that conjuncting Neptune, you have this, you have, like the title said, falsehood and reality. Jupiter being truth, being the guru, giving you opportunities for higher learning. And with Neptune being kind of like the illusion, the smoke and mirrors. So here with this 6th house conjunction for this, it is just an opportunity to bring your philosophy together for truth, to self-undo any self-beliefs that are just really limited to you, right? And with that, brings opportunity for healing for yourself and for those around you. And people could also at this time been talking to a lot of people at work, just a lot of talks among the Jobs for different people, right? And this is all being brought by Mercury, which is, let's look. Mercury is in the 5th house at that 19 degrees Taurus. So when it just comes to, the mind and service, how can you communicate that? Not only to yourself, but to others. And with that, being in that Capricorn, it was an opportunity to really start working on some creative ideas for the long term, right? All right. Ooh, pardon. All right. So that was for, the current, the past Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. All right. So we'll move. I'm going to try it again. Let's see.
I'm not trying to kind of appear like Morpheus.
Man, yeah. So we'll get to the next chart. We out of there. All righty. So next up, we are now in the current. Now I can't even see my screen. I don't like this. All right, we're in the current April 12th, 2022. So this is for the current Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. We have Aquarius on the rise at 29 degrees 4 minutes. Aquarius, If you want to look at the rulers, you can look at Saturn, and you can also look at Uranus for that. Or, I'm gonna go with the ancient. So let's roll with Saturn. All right, we have Saturn at 23 degrees, 1 minute Aquarius in the 12th house in its joy, right? And we have Jupiter and Neptune in the first house of self. So when it comes to with Jupiter, having an opportunity to expand your learning, you also have to be wary with Neptune, with being there with the illusion when it comes to any spirituality. As we know, spirituality just deals with the art of breathing. And Jupiter also is going to expand or give you a growth opportunity to expand that subconscious, with Neptune being defects, we look at that 12th house energy, defects from a spiritual rebirth. So what am I saying? Jupiter, Neptune. Jupiter is bringing you this higher learning to uplift your subconscious, to get you past the illusions of any fake spirituality or not higher self spirituality, so that now you go through this rebirth process, right? And now you're looking at an ending, but an ending isn't bad. It's just a peeling off of a skin, so that now you can be born anew and have a new attitude and outlook at life, so that you can go, to these beginnings and go after these dreams for that. And let's see, Saturn didn't have that degree on there for that, but now it's all coming through Saturn, right? So Saturn being in its joy in the 12th, it's removing, it's structuring any kind of social conscious, not for the kind of worse, but the better, right? Man, it's just rolling. Anyways, let's go. So it's structuring, the social conscious, and also revealing what is hitting. So, this is a great opportunity to use this growth and illusion mindset to expand on the healing and on the self-limiting beliefs that one might have about itself, or just from the self-identity that's now projected out into the world. And now that it's formalized, and you can apply this wisdom using the structure of Saturn for the universal law, to apply that universal law to all things. And also with Saturn being in that 12th house energy as well, also 11th energy as well, it's, it's a restructuring of all the organizations. People are just going to come to find out the truth about things. So, you can either get down with guru, or you can, stay the illusions, but Saturn's not going to let anything get by with truth, whether, it's in private or public. Saturn's going to hold over that. All right. And for that testimony, I shall yield, and I'm going to pass it to my bro, which, hopefully it doesn't roll past his, his slides too, right? Brother Hasan will be covering the next house for us, and then Brother Benjamin, coming at in and just
in the succeeding houses.
Succeeding Islam.
It's Islam. Okay, so yeah, I'm doing the succeeding houses, right? I'm still, working on this portion of presentation for you all. It's going to be really cool, especially, once I, complete school, so to speak, right? But we're always studying outside of school. We take, what we learn and what we know is going to be learned, and kind of just move forward. And Brother Sean is really spearheading, just looking at other means pertaining to presentation. However, I'm filling in for our beloved brother, whom we're well pleased, because we had to, push back a little delay, but one that was much needed. Brother Terrell, I think, has, other engagements to actually get to. However, I'm just also seeing who's in the chat for right now. Just saying my peaceful greetings, beloveds, to you all that are there in the chat and here joining us here on this YouTube Live. And I'm going to be doing my best to share this to Facebook also, as usual. However, I have the succeedant houses, right? And for this Gemini portion here, so what I'm going to do is get my freestyle Wednesday type of vibe going on here, because I'm actually filling in. So I am completely doing this. Haven't even seen this outside of, the video that Brother Sean put together for advertising. I see the ascendant there is at 3 degrees, 53 minutes in Leo. And its ruler, the sun, is at 29 degrees, 37 minutes in Sagittarius. Is that what that says? In the 5th house?
Yes.
Right? And that was for what year you have there? That was December
2009.
What? Okay, 2009, right? So we're just looking at, that was the, if I'm not mistaken, we're looking for approximately, that's about 12, 13 years ago, right? We were looking at to see when Jupiter had ingressed. We're looking at Jupiter returns, correct?
Yeah, the last time Jupiter and Neptune had that conjunction.
Were conjunct. Okay, got you. I see how you. Okay, yeah. So I see them at 24 degrees, Aquarius, 17 minutes. Very interesting in the astrological area between 22 and 28 degrees. So I'm doing the succedent houses. So I will be having houses 2, 5, 8, and 11. And I see that I have a Martian ruled succedent house here. Pardon me, Mercurial ruled succedent house. My apologies as I look closer. And I look for Mercury there, and I see Mercury is at during that time. If I'm not mistaken, again, that says December 21st, 2009, if I'm not mistaken, in the corner.
Yes.
All righty, absolutely. So with that being said, let me actually see if I can bring my Zoom screen back here, actually. All righty, and yes, okay, I do see that there. All righty, so with that being said, guys, looking at a 6th house Mercury, I see a Mercury in accidental dignity there. All righty, in the 6th house. All righty. And ultimately, I'm going to look for Saturn also there in the 2nd house, ultimately. And Saturn is exalted in Libra there. So I just take it that, there is a means to, bring some, we're going to, communicate a means to serve, the future as far as being able to execute some things that will bring about and if we look back at that time in 2009, let's see if even what I'm saying now is in harmony with that. We're being able to, bring some things towards the future, because we're just getting out of our comfort zone. If we look at things collectively, December 21st, 2020, and this will be I will give testimony on this, but then I'll yield and give it to, left back out. All right, maybe we'll come back in. That was Brother Terrell. We'll see one more time. If somebody could, just, text them and let them know, I'm just here until he comes in, honestly. So with that being said, let me continue. All righty. Allowing ourselves to really communicate some service to the future, right? So let's see, in December 21st, 2009, you guys out there that's actually observing this at the sound of my voice, you can go and probably check, this day. Go to the, that this on thisday.com or whatever, something like that. Type in December 21st, 2009 and see what service was communicated, for the future. Some type of, really essential service too. Something that was, people probably found like, oh, look at this. I had no idea that this, was some type of advent in communication or whatever that's leading to, going forward in things. Maybe people weren't really, it might have been too new or something, or people may not have, really comprehended what it is. But now it's like, oh man, this really works. I really can enjoy this, right? So even really looking at that is what's being brought to the 2nd house. So now we're being able to bring those, how are we communicating? So how are we serving the future? How are we being able to serve the future and being able to make sure that we're allowing ourselves to show that we're good enough to be able to provide for some comfort when it comes to how we're looking to find the essential values in balancing ourselves? How do we execute things in a way where we allow the detailed values for ourselves to, just actually just really just find the beauty in that execution. It almost says like, let's plant a tree, right? So that there'll be some apples or peaches for, children in the future. And we trust that those peaches that come, that it will encourage the children not only to eat some peaches that were planted for them. However, to take those pits, those peach pits, alrighty, and crack the shell of that pit and pull out the nut and then put it in the ground and perpetuate growing more peach trees, so to speak. So I'm putting that in terms to say also with how that can actually be done. And the reason why I said children even more, which is interesting because I was just looking to the future. However, with Leo being on the ascendant, pertaining to children, pertaining to bringing things center stage, was there something brought center stage pertaining to children and or pertaining to that which is allowing people to probably go about recreating or creating or bringing some form of innovation, even possibly when it comes to the beauty in well, not even really the beauty, but however, the beauty in transforming, right? I mean, seriously transforming the way things are being probably shared with children, probably even being taught to children. Was this when some form of internet-based learning actually dropped around December 21st, 2009? You know, that's kind of just how I'm looking at that portion there. And even Venus being sextile to the Neptune-Jupiter conjunction there, it really just even lets me know that the conditions under which by which she's under, it's just really letting me know that there's this means for her to really and she's under the beams of the sun, so she's in council with the king, as it said, quote unquote. So she's in council with the sun along with Pluto. And so they are really transforming the beauty in the way to serve the future. And how they're doing it, they're looking to really do it in an active way of bringing about way of backing children. Because Mars is there under the rulership of the sun also, however, at the degree pertaining to the back at 19 degrees, and it's retrograde. So it's really going back in a way to really bring things. It almost makes me think like, was there some school of some sort where, you know, people had to go and check how a whole bunch of children either passed the test or failed the test? Like, just that kind of energy is really there. However, with that, my magnificent beloved brother, in whom I am well pleased, Terrell Tamari Bey, is with us. I am going to take myself out of the spotlight here. I'm remove myself and add brother Terrell Tamari Bey. With that, I trust I did that justice, my beloved brothers in whom I'm well pleased.
Of course. We thank you for filling in, brother Jag. See the fireworks? Yeah, I don't think you saw the fireworks. Right above your head.
Islam, I yield. Islam, I yield, beloveds. Islam.
Islam.
Alrighty. Right again. Okay. What am I looking at?
You've got the current now Jupiter Neptune conjunction upcoming.
Right too.
Islam.
Okay.
Give me a zoom in some. Hold on.
Where are we? Fiji? Yeah, I'm on my phone right now, so it's a little bit difficult right now.
That a little better to see?
I can see it though. Yeah, I'm just, you know, bear with me.
That's fine.
So yeah, Fiji. All right. So this will be the let's say some ruler will be uncovered, so to speak, and that'll just be the people coming together. They'll be inspired by seeing some individual expressing the beauty and unity, so to speak, right? Because, you know, we got Aquarius on the ascendant. Saturn is ruling that. So Saturn's ruling the 12th and the 1st, right? Yeah, so we're just bringing together our dreams. Watch out. We're bringing together our dreams and our who we are into one unified, action, so to speak. And it's being emphasized, through the group. It's a nation thing, the politics are being emphasized and considered, the domestic affairs are being emphasized here, so to speak. There's a lot of changes going around in the home to bring a better structure within the collective community. So you can see a lot of local groups coming together and connecting with more global groups, so to speak. And that'll bring about a beautiful time for each individual to be who they are so they can expand within the group. So a lot of group economics being formulated here. And religious text, so to speak, is being more, what's the word? Honored, or, they're grateful for the fact that these texts were constructed in certain ways for certain things to be formulated within the group and also as individuals. That's very prominent here. And with that, I'll yield the floor. Islam.
All right, we'll get Brother Benjamin up next as you crawl away.
That's on me. Right here we go. All righty, so it is me right now in the 8th house.
Islam.
Islam. All right, so I have the cadent houses, which are they set up for the next house with an angular house. Well, yeah, which is the first house. So my house is set up for the next house, all the cadent houses. But this isn't a cadent house. This is a succeeding house. But I'm doing the cadent houses, which are 3, 6, 9, 12. But talking about the 8th house here, with the Neptune conjunct Jupiter, Aries rule zone, December 21st, 2019, which is a Monday. Back in time. Here with the ascendant at 12 degrees, 13 minutes, Cancer, cusp of the 9th lunar mansion. So this is co-ruler will be the moon, and the ruler of the zone will be Mars. This is the area rule zone. So let's say a focus zone instead of like an aggressive one, because Mars is like your focus, your energy, where you're gonna, point your energy to. So the 8th house, the astrological area as well, the ascendant rule at 27 degrees. The ascendant ruler, which is the moon, at 27 degrees, 41 minutes Aquarius, which is in the 8th house. And I give my divination to the 8th house, joint finances, death and rebirth, not just the physical one, the occult or hidden, all things behind the scenes. Giving testimony with this energy in the 8th house, the focus is on finalizing the behind the scenes matters that pertain to law or some type of foreign doings, which is connected to one's possessions, because the 2nd house is what you value your possessions. So that's originally a Venus ruled house there, but you have Mars and 9 degrees Leo, 41 minutes retrograde. So there could be some type of, in this time period, in 2009, a slice or a dip in your finances. So you're like behind the scenes with the group, confused or in panic about, your finances or your possessions and how you're gonna keep them from, out of your grasp. There are some bittersweetness because you have Chiron there in Aquarius. So within the group, it's hurting. So maybe the whole group at this time was like, okay, guys, how do we come together and, fix, our values, raise up some funds or something like that. So when the next storm comes, you'll have an umbrella and it won't, raining on you when that time comes. Connected to your possessions. In the 2nd house, which is being ruled by the sun, with Leo on the 2nd house cusp, it's slicing your finances and responsibility. So make sure the next cycle comes around that all behind the scenes affairs are taken care of and handled properly, so there is no need for confusion and worry. So yeah, during this time, so you were very focused on handling your behind the scenes finances and hoping to see the gain in them, in return, with going over things and networking with your friends. And I will yield for Neptune conjunct in 2009 in Aquarius. All right. Got another Aries rule zone here, and now my cadent house, the third house. So learning. So these things, once I said before, the cadent house is set up for the next house, which is the angled house, the fourth house, which my brother Sean is going to go over next after me. But on the horizon we have, or the ascendant, 0 degrees, 14 minutes. Capricorn, the galactic center, the most important part in astrology. The ascendant ruler is Saturn at 23 degrees, 1 minute, Aquarius in the second house. So yeah, we got some structure focus again, or some reconstruction, because Capricorn deals with structure, or the bones, and the bones deal with your foundation. And you have Cancer on the opposite side of it, that deals with foundation, things that nurture you. So if you have a solid foundation, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get nurtured properly, because you're going to have the proper structure to support you. But to speak about the Jupiter and Pisces, and Neptune and Pisces at 23 degrees, 58 minutes, both of them are. And giving you the shot is in Pisces, third house communication, reflecting to Jupiter ruled house of higher learning, which is the ninth house, giving testimonies to Jupiter conjunct Neptune at 22 degrees Pisces, 58 minutes. When communicating via media, letter, social media, even body language, make sure you double check the details with Jupiter expanding the message, making it seem a little confusing. So when exercising your first bill right, do so in a diplomatic fashion. The ability to overstand and explain the forces not seen in the physical world. So, let's say astrology, or we was talking about dealing with divine and natural. People love the natural, but not the divine things of, life. And that's just on a global level. You're part, physical, and you're part not physical. And that is a divine and natural principle within itself. So don't lean on only one side of learning, balance it out and try to see clearly. And on both sides, there's like a coin has two sides, but it's like one coin with two sides, So your body is you have two sides. You have a divine side, you have a natural side, and you have to know how to practice and exercise them equally. So with Jupiter and Neptune right here, you can still be Jupiter will say is natural side. So that deals with, diplomatic things, law, letter, jurisprudence, institutions with Pisces as well. And then you slide over to Neptune and you have like divine things that are not of this physical world, but are still of this, world. Because you have a world inside of your mind that no one sees, but let someone tell you that's not real and you see it. You're going to be really upset, because no one can go inside your head and be like this, or they're going to see a brain, so that's a little divine if you ask me about it. But moving a little forward here to finish up, to learn together, the want to learn and gather info about one's belief with their belief system, the occult, astrology, scriptures, and the law and justice as well. Take all these lessons learned and teach them in your ninth house dealings when the opportunity presents itself. So yeah, right now you're just gathering a lot of said confusing information that you can use to learn, but don't try to seek it and go try to gain hey, this is what I found out. It's just when the opportunity presents itself and you're there to say correct something, if you can, you will have the proper information to do so and exercise it and speak it clearly. Because Neptune is still there, but you're still gonna grab that abstract, that confusing, and bring it to the manifest world. Because I want to say Jupiter is the teacher of Earth, or Sagittarius is the teacher of Earth, if I'm saying that right. So it's only right that Jupiter is explaining, earthly things to something that's Neptunian. And I'll yield on that. Just overall, gather information and filter it. Use it properly, don't abuse it. And I yield.
That's fine, bro. That's fine. Appreciate you. All right, we'll just keep this thing flowing and going, as long as the slides don't take us too far, right? All right, let me move my screen. All right, so we are here at the Indonesia area, right? Pisces ruled zone. We have Gemini on the rise at 4 degrees 37 minutes. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. We have the ascendant at the degree of aviation of mental stability, right? Mercury at the Pluto's south node. All right, so now we're looking for Jupiter and Neptune, and we have them located in the 9th house, higher learning, right? So when it comes to, opportunity to grow or, learn some new philosophy, it's just a great time. People could have been listening to their intuition and, maybe, seeing things, receiving clarity when they go into meditation, taking the illusions of Neptune and just, transforming that, transmuting that into something positive and to not get, lost in the illusion currents of the mind, right? This also could have been another time for people where there was just some closure to things, maybe to where they couldn't relate. So now this closure comes on the way that they can now relate more to people due to their own self-beliefs. And also another time where there could have been times where people's social positions wasn't that, dealing with that Neptune illusion for Aquarius, So there's this, social kind of public social position that, could have been taken back then that wasn't all that. And, with Moon and Chiron there, there's an opportunity to heal, subconscious wounds and take that into higher learning so that now you can relate more and that can be relayed to the collective. But, first it starts with yourself, but, there's an opportunity here to be in harmony with yourself. So now that you can relate, expand on any illusions that you have now learned from and grew through, and now just express that to the collective. And for that, yeah, it's good. Yeah, so that was for 2009. So definitely go back and look and see what she was doing in 2009. And we'll get right on next into the next slide. So now we have the upcoming currents, Jupiter, Neptune conjunction in the angular house. Excuse me, angular house, the 4th house, right? And hit my next page, my little notes, right? Took a couple little notes, right? All right, so we've got the ascendant at 8 degrees, 51 minutes Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Guru, aka Jupiter. And let's see, there wasn't no specific degree for that, right? So now we can just look right at, boom, we've got Jupiter and Neptune in the 4th house. So it's an opportunity to, really just take whatever, secret aspirations that we have, for success and, or pertaining to, I want to say this, taking the secret aspirations of the illusions of that, because we're looking at Neptune right here, and really taking opportunities with some philosophy, whether it's, metaphysics, 7HealStar, or Prophet Noble Ali. But now you can make these mental adjustments to clear out the illusions to any self-secrets made, right? And now this brings a cause and effect of healing and love that can be brought not only to yourself, but also, aunts and uncles on, the mother side. So there could be people looking here to communicate, with their aunts and uncles, or maybe travel, or truth to just about, themselves or those relatives could also be coming out as well. This is 4th house energy dealing with the home and domestic affairs. And let's see, and then when we look at Luna, so we look at Luna in the 9th house. So it's some foreign consciousness that one can either just remember or come into, that now gives them the opportunity and the feeling that now they can shine with this knowledge And now with that third house, with Mars there as a reflecting Mars, it's this opportunity to take the shine that you have within yourself, the creative fire that you have with yourself, operate from the heart, and let your drive be for the collective. But in order to really be effective with the collective, you have to know and understand how your mind works, and remember that it's bigger than you. And now when you're operating out of the subconscious and from your hearts, you can spread this knowledge and this wisdom with Jupiter and Neptune here for the collective. And, it's this loving wisdom that's for the collective, but to those who are not used to it, it might, set them on fire. But that fire will give them that death and rebirth process, not doom and gloom. But now you're taking what you thought you knew to be true, and it's being stripped away. But, even though it's being taken away, there's something new to come in and bring you, so now that you can expand for yourself and for your home. All right. And for that, I think I shall yield, and just Jupiter Neptune conjunction as well. It's an opportunity to maybe take some self-sacrifice for some things, and just put your head down and do it for the collective, because you know that you're doing things for a higher purpose. And if you're not doing things for a higher purpose, take this opportunity to really get your foundation together. Let's get our foundation together. Whether it be, I'm just hearing Brother Corey's voice, whether it be private or public, and just really get into the foundation and the root of truth. Because once you know the root of truth, anything else from the branch or anything else outside really won't matter. And you'll be able to understand it because you know the roots of the truth. And for that, I will yield to Brother Terrell, Tamari Bey, bro. Islam.
Goodness gracious, Islam.
You like how I had your emoji electric slide in there?
You're hilarious. All right. I need to pay attention. I'm not paying attention. Okay. All right. So it's my turn.
Indeed.
Right? All right. Where we going? Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka. Is my Zoom screen location?
Say it again.
Is my little Zoom toolbar blocking the location? I can't see.
No. Okay. It was just I'm on my phone, so I gotta zoom in. Yeah. On my own. I'm good though. Don't worry about it. All right, so we got Taurus on the rise. Venus is in Pisces. Okay. Jupiter and Neptune are in the 10th house. Huh. Yeah. Rebellion. Damn. Yeah, a lot of energies are being removed from their position, so to speak. That's interesting. But yeah, because again, the people are realizing that, without us, nothing really exists. Duh. Right? So, we're coming to terms with what we value, which would be Venus, and the relationships that we indulge in, like I always say, which is also Venus, but that's ruling Taurus, right? But specifically, we're talking about the 10th house, so we're talking about our status, who we are as an individual, however, also as a collective or as a body politic or a nation, so to speak, or a state, whatever word you want to use, but nation specifically, because that's how you differentiate cultures, so to speak. nations, right? So there's a unity and a disconnect going on within the nationhood, like flat out, because there's a lot of we're seeing the insincerity and the sincerities within ourselves and within, whomever. It doesn't matter who it is. So with the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction in the 10th house in Aquarius, we're talking about, right? Which is, yeah. Yeah, just a lot of uncovering with foundational principles, or what are principles, what principles are being lived off of, or what principles do you live your life off of, so to speak. These sort of things within this energy would emphasize that. Wait, hold on. So yeah, look, I'm so off right now. All right, wait. So y'all gotta fresh me. Y'all gotta catch me up, like right now on the spot. I don't.
That's fine, bro. Yeah, you I thought you knew. Yeah, you're for 2009 the previous. So now what it's about to go to now is now you can go to the current chart. Now this is a current.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just okay. So we're doing okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah. See, yeah. So that's what I'm feeling though. But it's like, damn, that's what we're doing. Wow.
Yeah, It's like the last time Jupiter and Neptune were conjunct, and now when they're conjunct. So it's the quote unquote 12 to 13.
Yeah, the 13 year. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Wow. All right. Oh, goodness gracious. What?
Kind of like, okay, what happened then in 2009?
Yo, because that
get down. Wow. I yield.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, man. I feel like I'm just waking up right now. Like literally. Okay. So wait. So Venus was in Sag. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you really know who you are now. So this is that. Like this is global, of course. However, we're speaking on Sri Lanka, right? Specifically. However, this is global. With Jupiter and Neptune. So from 2009, that was what the December 21st? Was that day? What day was that?
Yes, he just went from 2009. Now we pulled the metaverse meta board up to
meta board. Yeah, like this. April 12th. Okay, yeah, got you. Because we did that for the weather report, of course. Yeah, man, this is interesting. I'm going through. I'm feeling okay. So anyway, yeah. So you know who you are, and then now you know where you come from, right? So now there's a foundation that you have. So now you can make moves accordingly. You're not, moving on eggshells. Yes, you're not moving on eggshells, which was like the 13-year ago conjunction, because you didn't know where you belong. So now you know where you belong. However, with insincerity, you can be being removed from where you think you belong at the same time. So that's interesting. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, so just be open to really getting back into the studies for real, because Jupiter and Neptune is very, revealing the illusions. What is truth? What is falsehood? Right? Would Jupiter be truth or would Neptune be falsehood, or would we flip it? But then again, we would look at the aspects of those planets, right? Pertaining to whoever we're considering. But yeah. Just really get into your studies, but also realize what's happening globally within, like, just an example, the treaty thing, like Brother Benjamin brought up. Like, there was a treaty just signed or whatever between who? Freemasons?
I'll go look up what we were asking, but we were speaking about was something different with that treaty, but according to the actual text, I'll see what
Got you. Okay, yeah. See, I'm so out of it. Like, I'm
no,
in,
you're
but
fine,
I'm out.
Bro. You're fine,
I'm
bro.
in, but I'm out, yo. I'm in, but I'm out. Like,
yeah. I'll go find the actual.
No, you're good, but that's the same energy, though, bro. That's really that, though. That's basically that. That's the same energy, because I can say possibly.
It just says treaties amongst others. So yeah,
right,
just,
and that's
like you said, the spirit.
You just read my mind. You just read my mind, because I was literally about to say there's a possibility that we can make a treaty amongst ourselves. That's an example of that energy. And with that, I'll yield the floor. Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Brother Benjamin.
I'm here 11. I know that. 2019, so 13 years ago, and we're speaking to Zambabia, Madagascar. That's where my penguins are from. Those are my guys. They're not from, but I love the penguins of Madagascar. We're here to speak about a Capricorn ruled zone. The ascendant is 2 degrees Aries, 50 minutes. So the ascendant is ruled by Mars, and the area or the zone is ruled by Saturn. So that is like some building stuff. You got some structure, you got some energy. So you have energy to build any structure that you feel need to use. The degree of abscessicity, how about saying that? Abscess. The degree of abscess, and then literary and poetic, if I'm reading that correctly. It is the font made it look like one word, but that is the degree of abscess, literary and poetic.
Yeah, it does say abscess is semicolon, literary and poetic.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you. And that is for the ascendant, 2 degrees, 50-minute Aries. The ascendant ruler is Mars, 19 degrees, 41 minutes, Leo, which is in the 5th house, the back. But we are here to speak about what's in the 11th house, the conjunction between reality and what we seem to call falsehood. The reality would be Jupiter and the falsehood would be, Neptune. And these are in the 11th house, friends, 24 degrees, 17 minutes, meridians, and both of these celestial bodies are at the same degree point. And I give my delineation for this December 21st, 2019, the Neptune conjunction with Jupiter in Aquarius at 24 degrees, 17 minutes, giving testimonies to this energy being the house of gains and friends, the need to expand on the philosophy learned while isolated, figuring out figuring out how to relate this info with others that you want to share, that have the same ideas you want to share. So basically, the stuff that you've learned in the 3rd house, you've taken all the way to the 11th house now, and you're trying to find a way to relate that with your brothers or sisters or, or colleagues or things of that nature, or you're putting your ideas on the internet for critical criticism, so that could be a Twitter post, on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or any other things you want to share some information that you're confused about. And that's true to your belief. You want to believe in this. And sometimes we need we shouldn't have to, an external example or an external manifestation for us to kind of like believe something. So if I told you I had a Bentley, you'd be like, nah, bro, you wouldn't take who I am, what I do. It's like, oh, I have a Bentley. I would have to pull up in one. You'd be like, oh, okay, now you got the Bentley type stuff. So this energy right here is basically you explaining yourself and not having the means of what you have, but you're trying to get what you're explaining, which would be, in this case, the Bentley. Like, hey, guys, I don't have the Bentley, but I have some ideas that could possibly get me the Bentley. You know, that type of energy. Seek to help humanity as well. So right now, you could be creating something to help others. I'll take, you know, me and my brothers, you know, Brother Hasan created 7HealStar, which is for, you know, the globe, anybody who wants to be helped, but not to call him Nardra, but just like Nobel Ali, it helps Moors, you know, first. And that's no hate, but our people are in the worst condition. So he catered to, you know, the beings that look like us. And that's not, you know, that could be confusing to most people because it seems like, hey, let's all come loop. It's like, okay, cool. Let me see how, you know, your handles are. You belong in this section and you'll get these type of basketball drills, you know, so to speak. And that would be a naturalization type thing instead of naturalization type thing, you know. Don't say that right, like nationalization, you know what I'm saying, instead of natural, you know. So it's different things for different people, but basically coming together, and that's helping humanity. Because when one part of the body gets right, the rest of the part of the body gets right. So if we look at the Moors, which is a huge part of the body of the planet, if that gets right, the left leg will automatically go in front of the right. Kind of like you put the knee sleeve on, you can get your step back. So right now, this could, you know, you can seek to help humanity with just laws that will benefit the whole, who are in slight confusion about moving forward in society as a whole. Stretch the mind amongst your friends to help the all, not only yourself. So basically what you know, don't seek others just to help yourself, is what I'm saying. You know, don't use your creativity for self, even though, you know, Leo is about the self, the ego and things of that nature, but you need to use your ego to help others because others have ego as well and they're getting in the way of, you know, what they actually need to do. So, you know, just you know, there may be some healing in this as well. You know, you could be hurt about something that transpired with you, and to expand on that hurt, or to, you know, expand on how to deal with that, it could be confusing. So what I suggest is get with some good people. You know, get around good people to network with and change your type of creativity and see how to use your creativity and not look like you're only for self. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a Capricorn zone, so you want to feel your status. You want to be like, hey, this is me, this is what I do type deal. But, you know, Saturn does for all, even though he seems like he's personally punishing you, you know, but you personally have to get together to help the whole, you know. Just a small little piece make the whole puzzle come together, you know what I'm saying? But you got a big puzzle on the wall, you're like, bro, what's going in this corner right here? You know, you don't really want that. But not to blabber along, because I didn't write, I was done writing at help. So, but overall, you know, Jupiter conjunct Neptune back in 13, you know, use that energy, you know, coming up to help self. Don't be selfish. And I yield. Not to be all doom and gloom there. I'm not sounding like somebody's father or something. I promise I'm not trying to do that. Alrighty, we're in the 6th house, right? We in the 6th, yeah. All right.
Jack Lucky, he missed.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we are. Another Capricorn, all rights reserved, ruled zone. Don't worry, guys, we got you. Even though you don't know that you want to reserve, we got you. So we're speaking to still Madagascar, Sambava, Madagascar, April 12th, 2022. On the rise, there are 2 degrees Libra, 0 minutes. The ascendant is ruled by Venus because Libra is on the rise. Descendant ruler, Venus, like my brother has up here for us, 7 degrees, 29 minutes, Pisces. That's where Venus is located. So our values are being serviced, or we're seeking to get our values serviced. And 9 times out of 10, hopefully you're walking in there, left foot, right foot, and not some like hologram type deal. You know, I'm sure people are like, you know, what is it called? Spawn, you know, like, but on all serious note here, Neptune conjunct Jupiter in the 6th house with Pisces there. So you want to service some undoing or get a institutional type service. But, you're going to go to some type of institution to see some service. So you have Mars there in Aquarius. So you have some energy and some passion towards, wait. You could be getting your toes painted like red right here. Let's just say that. I just like that flash of that. So the shorties could go on the internet and be looking on Instagram. It's like, oh, I like this red color, and go get your nails done or your toes done, possibly, or your fingernails. But giving testimony to this house of service who needs help / assistance, giving testimony to this energy used in service fashion, in a service fashion, the need to expand on things that have been altering our mindset, tossing off the day-to-day dealings and routines, seek the proper counsel pertaining to the need needs assistance. So prioritize your needs that need to be assisted. So the Neptune here could have you assisting the wrong need, is what I'm saying. So you can keep the flow of things going. So because still water is dead water. And since we're in 7, 8 point something in water, it'd be great to keep your water flowing because, like I said before, still water is dead water. And dead water is mostly black water, and not the black water with the minerals in it that you get at like CVS and all that stuff. The passion for your values and the need will make you focus on actually getting to the root of the issue. The issues, Mars coming in strong on the focus. So yeah, right now you could be actually going to what you need and not like, oh, I think this is what I need to get done. Like you're gonna go in there knowing because you were passionately you were passionate focused on like what is wrong with me right now. Like my foot right here, like say your values, Pisces is in Venus is in Pisces. So you're like, okay, something dealing with my feet area. It's like I hope you value your foot. So you're like, okay, I'm aggressively looking at my feet and my ankle area. I need to know what's going on. So once you go into this establishment, you're not gonna be like, hey, I don't know. You're gonna be like, this, that, and the third, this is what it is. I have some sources, what I'm saying, get me right. So I can go into the 7th house and start relating to some people. And I need to walk to relate. You know what I'm saying? You can't walk, you can't do much of anything. Moving forward on that, not to grab it. So overall balance, your feelings about your ego, so the body can be right mind, from being the right mind frame to accept service and not deny it, with all the confusion expanded your thoughts that have come forth with Neptune hugging onto Jupiter. So basically, slow down, breathe, balance out your mind so you don't ask for the wrong service and you don't deny something that you need. Because we do that a lot. We seem to deny things that we need and seek the things that we want, and that doesn't help anybody. It definitely doesn't help. So put your ego to the side and seek to heal yourself. And that starts with Pisces, the foundation. So take this time to start at a foundational spot, which is the Pisces field, and that's the feet. So you want to make sure that it's settled and that it's balanced, and that every step you take is a critical one that you can leave in the sand for someone else to learn, because Jupiter is there as well. So when you get this like healing and the service, you can like philanthropy that, along the house way. And I'll yield for some Baba, Madagascar. You guys be well.
Bro. Alrighty, back to your boy, back to your man's. Alrighty. This should be Durban, South Africa, back in December 21st, 2009. Just before the sun ingresses into Capricorn for winter, right? Alrighty, so here we have, let's see, we've got Pisces on the rise at 15 degrees, about 46 minutes, that looks like, right? So that is going to be ruled by Guru Jupiter. So we have Guru and Neptune in the 12th house, right? So when it comes to, Jupiter being about, true philosophy and, not dogma, you have that in the oneness or a conjunction with Neptune pertaining to any secret organizations. So when it comes to the desires and purpose that one has, secretly to themselves in solitude, Jupiter is going to bring an opportunity for growth to really make sure that you're really about those secret desires and purpose that you're about, and if that's in alignment, right? So, and with that, people also could have been, looking to set up at this time back in 2009, something much bigger for the future, and also, for when they get older in their age. Also another time where there could have been, labor disturbances, maybe in this area or across the globe as well, in the Sagittarius zone. And for that, Jupiter is going to, fix the labor parts, and then Neptune on the other side is the limiting power of race consciousness. So, you have Jupiter, truth, uplifting for the social awareness, but Neptune is also the illusion. So, you just have to take a time back and look maybe at some TV shows and movies just to really see, who was who and what was what pertaining to this time. All right. And so then, I'm gonna just keep on moving and get into the next slide. Hot fire, here I am, right? So we're currently, upcoming April 12th, 2022. We have Mercury, Virgo on the rise at 4 degrees 55 minutes. And we know that Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. And, Mercury also rules Gemini as well. So before we get into Mercury, we're just going to go quickly into Jupiter and Neptune, and then we'll see how that all is communicated by Mercury, right? So when it comes to Guru, right, when it comes to, traveling and healing, there's probably people planning trips or on trips right now, that is, really just good to take a travel for the healing of the mind. People could be planning trips or taking trips with partners, maybe friends, with Neptune being there as well. Whether you have been, good, whether it comes to contracts, or good, whether it comes to, relationships, for those that are in those, you could be receiving this good or quote unquote, it would say bad karma, right? And now we're going to flip that back to Jupiter when it comes to the subconscious. Things are going to come out about these, institutions, and about the, the healing and anything limited about that. And, watch out, for, Neptune being right there in the 7th when it comes to public relations. When it comes to the public relations, because, people aren't who they say they are. You really just kind of have to look deeper and just listen into it. And so with Jupiter, being the guru that he is, being in Pisces, that loving wisdom, there's going to be a lot of sharing going on, but you have to decipher between what's good and what's not good. And when it comes to the drive for, humanity, for the social awareness, and within the groups, you've got Mars in the 6th house. So, whether you talk to your friends, or you talk with people at work, just about how you feel, having some interesting topics, or even just talking about just whatever floats your boat. And that's reflecting one's own emotions that they have within, in the heart, as we have Luna and the 12th house and Leo at a very, very late degree, about to do an ingress, right? So it's taking your drive, just, hey, hit park real quick, with Mars being in Aquarius, just put park, or just, stop real quick and reflect on what you're feeling in your heart, whether you're meditating or whatever means that you connect with yourself, so that now you can plan a proper course on how to go about all that. And now with Mercury being in Taurus at the degree of plot and strategy in the 8th house, all this energy is now being communicated, whether it's by, a transformation that one has did, talk about, let's see, or, just, now your values have been transformed. We can say that with Jupiter, Neptune, you didn't fall into the traps of illusions. You kept studying, honorable. And now this is being communicated by your values, whether, we did it or not, whatever decisions we do is already coming. So now Mercury in the 8th is a transformation of the values. People could also maybe, receiving inheritances, or, just looking to merge and get closer with themselves and with their loved ones. And for that, I think I shot a yield for that one. Just I'll end it as just to share loving energy, and it's a time to level up right now, as these energies are moving and going along with this, and I think I shall yield, and I will throw that back to my magnificent bro, Brother Jag. Islam.
Why do I keep expecting Hasan to go? Oh my goodness.
Buddy, tell Hasan to go. Tell Hasan to go. Tell Hasan to go. Tell Hasan to go.
Not to Wednesday.
I'm so off.
Not to Wednesday.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me be magnificent like y'all. Hold on. Brother Corey, you really gotta stop, yo. Seriously.
I gotta catch up because I was handling I was in another conversation, so I gotta see all the
he's okay.
That I just
stopped. Could you see mine on the thing? I was stopping.
He said you seen bro on the Zoom. That was hilarious. Okay. All right. So I said I was gonna pay attention last time, but I'm really paying attention this time.
It's like that's just Jupiter, Neptune right there. We've expanded the conversation.
I'm really paying attention this time. Seriously, I mean that.
Brother Corey, you're Neptune right now.
Yeah, he really is. That's hilarious. It's all love though. He means no harm. All right, so we're going to December 21st, 2009. We're going to, what does that say? Stop it. Yo, oh my goodness. Yo. All right, we're going to end.
All right, phone away.
Yo, oh my God, man. Okay. I'm trying. I'm doing. All right, so Sag, Jupiter is conjunct Neptune. They are in the second house. Yes. All right. All righty. What's the income down? Yeah, so this was
That's your wisdom, Brother Jab. Now look, so Mars and Luna is reflecting again from that past one and the current one. I just actually now seen that.
You just peeped that. I get you. I get you. You said you said Mars and Luna.
Yeah, Mars and Luna are reflecting back in 2009 and in the current one. Yeah. But I think Mars is in Aquarius in the current and Luna's in Leo.
Yes, you are correct.
Mirror, anyone?
Muy interesante. That's that 13-year cycle too, though. We can look at that like that too, though. So with Mars specifically and his relationship with Luna. Anyway, yeah, this was a lot of sudden changes had to happen for that's funny because the last chart I was looking at, Taurus was on the rise, and Venus, I was looking at Venus, but now Jupiter and Neptune is in the second. I would go look at Venus. Well, I would look at Venus again too. And of course she's still in Sag, but she's in the 12th now. It's interesting. And it's conjunct the sun too. This is interesting. This is cool. This chart specifically is cool. Like this is pretty interesting being. Like the being that was manifest at this moment. It's interesting. Yo. Okay, yeah. So a lot of movement was going on around this time within Edinburgh, so to speak. There was a lot of literature probably being produced that like kind of moved everyone around or like ruffled everyone's feathers, because there was probably a belief system that was very fixed within that realm, and also globally as well, but specifically for Edinburgh. And the way these lessons was learned, it was learned from someone they were very close to. Oh, excuse me. But there was a possibility that what they learned was, of course, just beliefs. It wasn't really, it wasn't grounded in anything other than imagination, so to speak. No practicality, that's really what I'm saying, right? So it was imagination without the foundation, right?
To add to your wisdom, a clan conviction was held July 4th, 2009. So as far as like religion, people coming together with no purpose, not trying to be disrespectful, but it's not.
No, yeah, that's you're being honest.
Zodiac, is like, they meant well in the heart, of course, but like the foundation of it wasn't based in like astrology or the Moorish paradigm. That's for the founders and foremothers of civilization. So have a civilized clan of people who consult the stars and then anything. But I yield, bro, just to
Islam. Yeah, no, bro, that's perfect, bro. That's perfect, bro, because it wasn't rooted in a cultural or civilized background. It was just like,
and that was for Ederman as well.
Right. Word, Islam. Yeah, so now it's like we're finding out how
I also wanted to add to the wisdom
Go
also
ahead, I yield.
how interesting the chart is, and then I yield. The sheer fact that a lot of times people don't see like a triply intercepted sign. Well, I mean houses. They don't see like usually 3 house cusps in a sign. However, the general rule is the further north you go, there is no east because everything is south, more or less. So at higher latitudes, the higher you go, especially like above 65 degrees north latitude or 65 degrees south latitude. Alrighty, because when you're the higher the latitude numbers, the further away from the equator you are going, so to speak, as far as coordinates. So therefore, if there's no east, the further north or south you go, getting towards the quote unquote poles, then what do you do and how do you read a chart? Normally, astrologers will put the vertex on the 7th.
Indeed.
They will put the vertex on the 7th, and then from there, they will give the chart. Whereas the closer you get to the equator, once you get under 23 degrees north and or south latitudes, the closer you get to the equator, the less the less dependable the vertex, quote unquote, is in theory, and the more you just focus on the ascendant, if I'm not mistaken. I stand for correction.
Islam, because we would be, that's our prime vertical, right? The vertex is our prime vertical. Is that, yeah.
The vertex is where, yes, because you have 5 churches. The 5 churches with one point of 2 of the churches crossing each other, where the prime vertical that runs from east to west, just like the meridian is north to south, where the prime vertical intersects with the ecliptic path. Yes, Brother Terrell, you're exactly correct. Absolutely correct. That yields the vertex, and the vertex will always be in the west.
Indeed. Islam.
At least from here, because we're doing Northern Hemisphere astrology.
The North Gate.
Yes, we're here at the North Gate, the hub pertaining to civilization. And continue on these 5 churches just briefly. So you know the 5 churches are your prime vertical, your meridian, your ecliptic, your horizon, and your equator. Right. Those are your 5 churches. I'm pretty sure there's more, but those are the 5 immediate that I see. Those are the immediate 5 circles. Because when I say church, right? Same circle, kirk, same circle. All righty. So kirko, right? Kirkle, circle, kirkle, circle, kirkle, circle, right?
Indeed.
With that being said, now you have different points. So where the sun's path and the meridian intersect, we have what's called the medium coeli or medium coeli, some people will say. Some would like to argue that it's just Celli, because that's how it's pronounced in Italian. It's medium coeli. So you get the midheaven because of the tangent intersection. All righty. These churches are tangent, so where it's tangent there, and it's like, okay, well, if it's intersecting there, and as the midheaven, then what's the other side of that? If it's the vertex there, what's the other side? The anti-vertex? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you put the vertex on the 7th, the anti-vertex thus is where? Then on the ascendant. However, continuing, do research, guys. Believe nothing I say.
Yes.
Go and research it. Try to prove it wrong. We prove it right. Come and share with us what you learn. You might help us out even further in our research as we continue to go on our astro literacy endeavors. So for me to just be brief, so I can yield the floor back to Brother Terrell. The horizon, however, when you have the horizon intersecting with the sun's path, you're yielded a point called the ascendant. If I'm not mistaken, because that is the tangent intersection. When speaking spherical trigonometry, almost, sort of, kind of ish. When you're talking about that tangent intersection pertaining to the horizon and the ecliptic path, the sun's ecliptic, that yields us what we call the ascendant, and 180-degree reflection to that is the descendant, just like the 180-degree reflection to the medium coeli is the imum coeli, which is the 4th house cusp. All right, Placidus we're speaking. So where the equator and the sun's path intersects, that's what we call the Aries point. In the east, however, in the far east, 180 degrees zodiacal, 29 degrees Virgo to 0 degrees Libra, which is 180 degrees zodiacal, represented by the double-headed eagle.
Such a beautiful image.
Right? That's the Libra point. And that's dealing with the 2 kirks, the 2 circles that are intersecting the celestial, or the equatorial, so the celestial equator, pardon me. So it's like we're projecting the Earth's equator out, and we're saying, hey, this is where the Earth's equator would intersect the sun's path here. So we're going to call this the Aries point. So these knots, right? These knots, these nodes, knots, intersecting points, tangent intersections, vertex. They're all in relation to, it's like 4 in relation to the main one. The main one is the sun's path. That's the ecliptic plane. So when the prime vertical is in relation to the sun's path, you got the vertex. When the horizon is in relation to the sun's path, you got the ascendant. When the meridian is in relation to the sun's path, you got the midheaven. And when the equator is in relation to the ecliptic, you are dealing with your Aries point. And I already stated what the 180 degrees are to those. Vertex, anti-vertex, ascendant, descendant, medium Cheli, Coeli, Imam Cheli, Coeli. Ooh. Aries point, Libra point. And that's the first immediate 5 churches, or the what do they call it in terms of Godfather? The heads of the 5 families. There's the ecliptic family, the prime vertical family, the meridian family, the horizontal family, and the equatorial family. We really want to talk the heads of the 5 families when talking kirks, right? I yield the floor to my beloved brother, in whom I'm well pleased, Terrell Tamari Bey, Islam.
Islam, bro, and you know what you should do since you gave him that when we post this, or when you post it, you should put those 2 videos when you talk about the astrology and astronomy. I don't know what they're called specifically, but that'll do them some justice. Because, you know, some people don't have the visual learning aspect. You know, they have to see it as you're saying it. I'm just being considerate, so to speak.
Islam, I'm trying to think. Okay, so do I have a picture of that? If I have a picture of it in my phone, I'll make sure I'll share it. I'll send it, and I'll actually share it, because I think I drew a picture on like what is that? A shipping label. And I will share that before this presentation is out. So I yield the floor. So I want you to continue, and once I find it, I'll ask to respectfully add to y'all wisdom when I have it. All right.
Islam.
I yield.
Yeah. So we're still looking at the 21st of 09. Yeah. So a lot of graduating going on here, mentally and actually within releasing from some limited structure, so to speak, you know. So now we're going to move on to the 12th of April, Jupiter conjunct Neptune, right? And that's going to happen in Pisces, as we've been observing. Yes. So now here, we got Leo on the rise, Sun's in the 9th. Oh, this is great. Yeah. So now, you know, the things that we've learned again from our childhood are being brought to a universal aspect, or, you know, could be going to some sort of university, or realizing universal principles, you know, that Drew Ali specifically have, you know, placed for everyone, not just us Moors Americans, not us just specifically, it's for everyone. However, you know, he came to us because we needed him the most, you know, paraphrasing, you know, but yeah. This Jupiter conjunct Neptune here is very it's very pivotal, because, you know, 13 years from now, again, what will you be doing, and where are you headed? Because now it's you really have to formulate yourself and to really get into your studies, and specifically within this area. What was it again? Edinburgh. Yes. They may be coming across a lot of literature and philosophical text that's helping the collective at large, or the people, the common people specifically. You know, the common people being released from the shackles or chains that's placed on them based off of their quote unquote governmental procedures out there, so to speak, right? Edinburgh specifically, however, globally as well. People are just getting it at large on where they belong, and you know where they want to place themselves, so to speak. It's crazy. The chat stopped, yo. I'm glad y'all, yeah. Corey, good. Corey over there, good. Yeah, Islam. Where's Jupiter? Oh yeah, in the 8th. Look at that. Yeah, so a lot of yeah. Ooh, this is cool. This is interesting. Edinburgh. I might look into this myself, actually. Yeah, a lot of things definitely being revealed pertaining to like creative arts. There may be like children possibly within this area. Oh, excuse me. Being the ones who are the center of attention, or the teachers of the schools, so to speak. That's so backwards, but I see it very vividly. Like the younger child, the younger guru teaching the older being who considers himself the guru, so to speak, or everyone else considers him the guru. With that energy, and this is very Leonian energy, they have very, very intense Leo energies in their aspect, in their chart specifically. Yeah. Or you know, the younger guys, the younger individuals are being put in check by the older individuals to bring about these principles that are essential to the
Oh, sorry, my apologies. I mean, not.
You're good. I'm not sorry. Yeah, not sorry. Definitely not sorry. The elder is helping this younger energy sort of formulate themselves in a more practical manner, rather than just the looking for glitz and glamour, so to speak, because that's not gonna do it, baby. That is not gonna do it. What's happening? What? What's happening? Can y'all see me?
No.
Anyway, yeah. So this is just that. You're hilarious. This is that formality of joy, though. Like realizing that joy is that's a within that comes from within. That's nothing that that's possessed, so to speak. Physical possession. You can't grasp actual joy. Yeah, you can't touch it. Yeah, right. It's incomprehensible. Yeah, that's what that's that. So we're not really looking for something external to fulfill, you know, our internal hunger, right? Yeah, that's that. That's definitely that. So now, again, we know where we belong. We know what we need to change within ourselves. We know what we need to change within ourselves so we can stop limiting ourselves to someone else's guidelines, or our elders' guidelines, or our own guidelines that we've possibly processed from someone that we grew up with or may look up to, so to speak. So we're releasing things that are hindering us, so to speak.
I hate it.
What'd you say, bro?
I said outdated.
Oh no! Goodness
Yes,
gracious! Oh God!
Outdated thing. What the message?
You are hilarious, man. Oh God! Yeah. So you know, 8th house. Oh, all right. I failed. 8th house is always dealing with, you know, inheritances or combining inheritances, or 2nd house is your account, 8th house is someone else's. Jupiter and Neptune there, it can be a lot of illusionary things going on. So it would be more essential to get into the literary arts to learn about trust and things of that sort. A lot of those energies are being emphasized for more structured protection ways of doing things. So the trust, so to speak, would be one way of really protecting your assets. And definitely eighth house will be releasing liabilities. Eighth house could be liabilities, right? So Jupiter and Neptune being there, it's like, okay, so now I realize how frivolous I can be with my resources. And I'm just going to stop doing that because I want so-and-so. It's some physical or external thing, of course, but really land specifically. Some sort of land conveyance, some way to get around more productively. But, that'll be all some way to just be more yourself and not limit yourself again to someone else's boundaries or limits that they place on themselves. And with that, I will yield the floor. I think I have talked enough today. Islam. I'm just still, never mind.
All right, Brother Benjamin.
You muted, bro, Brother Benjamin. You all muted.
Righty. Where we at? December 21st, 2009. We are at Big Sur in Iceland. And I see a whole lot of ice here in Iceland. How you doing, guys? This is a Taurus ruled zone, so Venus is looking over here. It looks beautiful. It looks very tarry in here. I'll say that much. It's extremely tarry in here. Only ascended at 23 degrees, 3 minutes Sagittarius. And the co-ruler or the ascendant ruler is Jupiter at 24 degrees, 17 minutes. Aquarius third house, which is conjunct Neptune, and which we are speaking about today. And I'll give a testimony. Is Neptune in Venus terms right there? Or Venus, Jupiter and Neptune?
Indeed, bro. Indeed.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we're definitely speaking about our values here. So, okay. I'll give a testimony to gaining information that pertains to foreign higher learning that isolates us mentally, that we can
That look like Mars, bro.
What about?
I'm gonna touch of wisdom. Mars terms.
For Neptune?
Neptune and Jupiter, yeah. Yep. Look at it's the small little lines. The house cuss thing is what's kind of the illusory, if you get me.
I hear Neptune. I'm attempting.
You're hilarious. I hear Neptune. Islam, I yield.
Brother, he's helping us see clearly now. But yeah. Or is it?
Yeah, I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention now. I'm paying attention. I'm cleaning myself up from earlier.
It looks like Venus though. So I'm not sure. Is it? Did you see Brother Sean? Or
I'm looking, but it ain't even like showing. Like it shows Chiron and Moon and Mars. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the house
going
on. No biggie.
No biggie.
It's no problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So okay. So Jupiter and Neptune are in Mars terms. I think Brother Jag there. So we'll change that or alter the delineation to some some focus. So you're focused in gaining some higher learning. So this would be via internet. So we'll say we're using the internet, or you're conversing with someone via phone that you like, okay, I got so-and-so's number, like an elder, because Jupiter's a guru. So you can be hollering at, an elder like, elder, I'm confused about, this, and it's making me feel a certain way because Chiron's there. We're not going to be like, sad or something like that, because Neptune is there. They could be worried or just trying to see clear. So you just phoning in a close person. That's the second house of the house. I'm speaking as if it's in the second house. Does it look like it's the second house?
Yes.
All right, it's on. So still, you could gaining communication. You could be gaining, you could be communicating, gaining information pertaining to your values now. So you still could be calling that guru, but you could be calling them about things that pertaining to your possessions. So maybe your finances are looking this and that, and you're like, hey, what moves should I make? I have made this presentation online, but I'm not sure if this is clear to the audience that I'm seeking to gain from. So because Aquarius is gain, so you're seeking some kind of gain, hopefully the gain that you seek and you get, and you value it enough that you can, return the favor. So if you get it, give type energy. Don't just gain to hoard, because that doesn't help anybody. And that's with information as well. So you get information, you get valuable information that someone that could possess, do them right, and clean their water up or fill their cup up with more water to replenish them so they don't have to worry about replenishing themselves. And that could be knowledge as well. You could be giving them more knowledge and help them replenish themselves mentally to help them go along. Because this water helps you go along, as far as the physical thing. So overall here, just, take care of the home, take care of what you value, because Taurus is ruling the sun and Venus is rules over Taurus, and Venus is in the first house, and Venus is not worried. Venus is in Sagittarius, so you have your values and higher learning and travel. So you may have to go somewhere to find what you value, whether that be far or short. But it depends on how your networking goes pertaining to your values and in attempting to expand that, and how that could, hurt how you feel or damage how you feel about, yourself, which is what you hopefully value. So overall here, just seek the truth in who you are. Value yourself here. Don't trip on who you are. And I don't trip on who you are amongst the group as well. Listen to the leader of the group, the guru. He or she is explaining what you need to hear that it seems confusing. So take that in value and possess in your heart. And I yield. So April 12th, 2020, Tuesday, 1300 hours, 23 minutes for Vic, Sturland, Iceland. Again, it looks like we're in space. On the rise, 21 degrees, Leo, 6 minutes. This is a Taurus ruled zone. And that is the degree of comedy. So who doesn't like to laugh, and who doesn't value laughter, and who doesn't possess the ability to laugh, whether that be something that someone doesn't find or someone does. But that's the beauty of comedy, it's subjective, and we all can have things to laugh about. But moving forward here, the ascendant ruler is the sun at 22 degrees, 37 minutes, Aries, in the ninth house, the house of learning, the house of higher learning. That's the degree of music. And I give testimony to Neptune conjunct Jupiter in Pisces, 23 degrees, 58 minutes in Pisces, in the ninth house, the house of higher learning, in reflection to the third house, the house of communication. So like prior, we said we were gathering information in the third house, with, your elder or older sister or someone online that you seek that quote unquote look up to for valuable information and things that you can take along your way and teach. So now that we're in the ninth house, we can hopefully spread what we've learned. So giving testimony to this energy residing in the ninth house, learning what one believes in and where life philosophy comes from. Giving testimony to these celestial bodies in the higher house, the one to share all that one has learned and gathered in the third house pertaining to info that is now being utilized in institutions, which is Pisces, to heal the traumatized minds that have been bombarded with dogma. And earlier, my brothers started speaking about like looking at dogma another way, as far as like how can I how can I use this practice to see how it correlates with me, type deal. So the things that when I say have been like traumatized, because a lot of things that have been like practiced in certain institutions have brought, traumatizing behavior and traumatizing incidents, to society. And it's up to us to change that, and by changing the literature of the people, with the help of Prophet Ali helping us with the institution of the Moor Science Temple of America. But we all know the true temple is always for us all. You look in the mirror and you walk outside, you see temple. And, in a Taurus rule of zone, we should value our temples. And when you value your temple, you're most likely going to value another one. And you want to share how people can value their own temple, so you can be a temple cleaner amongst yourself. You can have your own mop and broom mentally and sweep up, that dust of Neptune stuff in your mind. Put it in the trash, consider and isolate that instead of isolating yourself out here. And no one can replenish you and you can't replenish yourself. You're not here alone, regardless of how you want to isolate yourself and be foreign and be ninth house to everybody instead of, amongst the people and then everybody in the third house, It's nice to go away sometimes, but, don't become just like shut off, because, you need people. You need some love. The sun here in the ninth, is that right? Yeah, all right. The sun here in the ninth as well, actively healing, because, the sun comes out and makes things grow, and that's healing as well. If you're growing, you're healing, hopefully like a plant. So that's a healing in itself. So the sun, they're healing what is hindering the truth that is inside us all. And that truth is art, and which is the foundation to life. Be God and action, which is being the word made flesh in action. And I yield.
That's on, bro. Yes, all righty. That back on over to me. Shout out to Brother Benjamin for that hot fire.
Hey, appreciate that. Glad you share. You should provide me
all right.
Oh, Brother Sean, don't jump off the cliff. Don't jump off the cliff, Brother Sean.
Man, I told him don't push me, man, because I'm close to the edge.
Hey, Brother Sean, before you go in, I trust trusting that I can possibly get this up. Let me see. Trust I can get this up here for you for a second. It should be. It should be so that it should be let me see. Oh, it's saying I can't share. Do y'all want me to share this 5 churches thing real quick? Because I said when I found it, I would just ask to add to y'all wisdom. So it's kind of right here. Yeah. Or would you like me to send it to you, Brother Sean?
Either or, you can share. I mean, we brought it up. I think it'd be good. Just go ahead and share it. Bros, y'all good with it?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, let me hit that. All right, I yield the floor to you, bro. It's on.
All righty, Islam. So, hold on. Here it is. Right here where we were. So I had drew this when I went to like the Baltimore Artists Union. I guess I'll turn it sideways so we can actually see this, and I'll just kind of really? Did it stop sharing just now? Let me send this to you, Brother Sean.
Indeed.
Because I would much rather go that way. And I'll send you something else too to kind of show, you know, it's something else I work on. Because you guys know I build things, but all right, let me send that, I guess, to the group.
Indeed.
And there it goes. Right. And then that way Brother Sean can share. Right. But the one that says Master Seal is the main one. And the other one is just, you know, an idea that I won't really say what it is. I'll just let it be seen. But it's many different things that I'm working on over here. That's from a couple years ago, actually. Maybe almost 3 years ago, actually, you know. I yield the floor to you, brother. You can do your thing.
All righty, here we go.
So yeah, if you guys can see, you know, you see 5 words there, right? In pale lettering, black lettering. All right. So yeah, I was in an event there, and I was like, oh, you know, you guys got some little labels here. Cool. Let me try. I just felt all artsy and stuff. So I just took my little compass and square out in pencil, and then I just traced it over in, you know, different, you know, colors, so to speak, different hues. So what I did was I was just giving my depiction of the, okay, if I make the horizon, you know, on the outside, so to speak, where the horizon actually is intersecting with the ecliptic. You see the ecliptic is like the bluish line. The equator is the greenish line. The horizon is the red. The prime vertical is the yellow, and the meridian is obviously the like still gray from the original pencil in the middle. So those are the 5 kirks that I was speaking about, and Brother Terrell had asked me to bring it up, and I did this a couple of years ago, and I obviously posted, as you can see, on Instagram, and I posted with the caption "Master Seal." And for those people that actually work with the science, you know, can clearly see that, you know, this is, you know, a Master Seal. I was just having some fun, just, you know, just drawing it actually, you know, just by hand, you know, just doing some quick sketching, because normally when I travel, I keep a compass and square on me at all times, and paper and other, you know, office itinerary, you know, tools and things like that. So with that being said, yeah, that's what it is. So you see there where the horizon and the ecliptic plane is intersecting on each end of where the technically, hypothetically speaking, the half a circle for the ecliptic there. That's the ascendant descendant portions in, you know, sight pertaining to comprehending things, quote unquote, astronomically, and try to give sight to where things actually are if you were to like step outside of, you know, everything and look at it from a, you know, a Hubble telescope perspective, I guess. Hubble Space Telescope perspective, I guess. And where the equator, the green semicircle, so to speak, or semi-oval, there it's those 2 points are showing your Aries in the east and your Libra right there next to prime vertical. That's your Aries and Libra points. Which obviously means the meridian. Well, hold on. Let me take that back. Pardon me. Let me take that back. So that's the horizon. The equator and the horizon actually are. Oh, give me one moment. Because I was doing everything in reference to the ecliptic. So really, that cross point there, where the ecliptic and the equator are crossing, that is the Aries point, pardon me. And if I was to actually complete those semicircles, you would see just 180 degrees from there. However, in the quadrant on the lower right-hand side, just above the word horizon, is where the other tangent intersection would take place. Given the Libra point. The prime vertical, obviously, where the equator and the prime vertical are intersecting, that's not what I spoke on, so pardon me, I misspoke. However, where the ecliptic and the prime vertical, if I'm not mistaken, actually meet, that's where you would get the vertex, right? So like I said, if I was to complete those semicircles for the ecliptic and the equator, you would actually see where those other points would hit. Where the meridian is hitting the ecliptic, that would be the midheaven. All righty. So that's what I was just showing on those terms. So that's kind of just like the idea of what when Brother Terrell was asking to actually show, you know, and so that's just kind of just a quick depiction. And as I'm just looking at it, I'm just, you know, I spoke about the vertex. Okay, so that would be the prime vertical and the ecliptic. It's like, okay, well, they don't seem to intersect in this drawing. However, if we were to complete that semi oval of the ecliptic with blue on the bottom half of it, so to speak, we would see where that yellow line would intersect, and we would have an idea in a two-dimensional kind of perspective of where the vertex would actually be. Where the ecliptic and the equator are intersecting, that's your Aries and Libra points, actually. All righty, where the ecliptic and the meridian are intersecting, that's your midheaven. All righty, the medium Celli, and 180 to that is the medium, the Imum Celli. Then where the ecliptic and the horizon are intersecting, that gives you your ascendant descendant lines. All right. So that's how I'm looking at that. So the prime vertical is over our head going from east to west. The meridian is hypothetically, or we're projecting over our head, pertaining to north to south. Along the ecliptic, we measure planets according to celestial longitude and latitude. All righty. In terms of the celestial longitude is how far along the ecliptic path they are. Celestial latitude is how far off of the path, either above or below, however, still along the ecliptic path. Declination is the planet's relationship along the ecliptic path in relation to the equator. That's declination. All righty. So you got you're measuring planets in terms of the ecliptic plane. You're measuring planets. Those measurements are called celestial longitude and latitude. Measuring planets along the equator, you have right ascension and declination. Right ascension is dealing with the hours going east from 0 hour all the way to the 23rd hour, each hour being 15 degrees, transit along the equator. All right, and that's based on the Earth spinning on its axis. All righty, so that's what you get. So you measure planets on the equator by their right ascension and declination. And then you measure planets along the horizon by their azimuth. Azimuth is how far along the horizon are they? And their altitude is how high they are above the horizon, between the horizon and the zenith. Did I get anything wrong in that explanation? I did my best to be as basic as possible and give the explanation with the picture up also. Brother Terrell, what'd you say, Brother Benjamin?
I think that answers the people who need to see, and then the people who just need an explanation. And while you were explaining, I was doing both. While you were Yeah, I could see, but seeing it now, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Right. But
Indeed, this is two-dimensional. You can kind of imagine a three-dimensional, you imagine some things like that. However, go right ahead. You can go to the other picture, Brother Sean. And if I find this other picture that I'm looking for, I'll share that with you also. I was looking to see if I could find it when I was actually building some things out of paper, just different models. But this is one of the larger models. Once I had did the little smaller models on smaller paper, I had made a much larger one here. Hashtag reflection. You can show the caption. And that's all I'll say. If I find this other picture, I'll make sure I send it to you, Brother Sean. Oh, there you go. I found it. I actually found both of them. This is interesting. Let me send these three pictures to you, beloved brother. 1, 2, 3. And here we go. Boom. So these are all my compass and square projects. And then we can get back to this. I guess we're taking a break here.
Yeah, over there, man.
This Intuition Monday has been brought in part to you by these paper projects. No, I'm kidding. Did you guys get that? Did I send that yet? Did it go over?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not. Okay, there we go. Boom. How's that? I guess I'll wait till I hear a ding on the iPad here. I'm sending from the phone. And let's see if we can kind of look. And these are things, like I said, I drew these things. Like, let me see the dates on these. June 9th, 2019. So that's 3 years. I was right, about 3 years ago. 2-3 years ago. Yeah, June 12th also. Let's see. Let me come out of the Zoom here. All right. Let's see if those pictures are coming. Those photos there. All righty, y'all can continue, I guess, until Brother Sean gets the ding or whatever. Because it seems like it's about to download, but it's 3 photo. Oh, okay, never mind. There it goes. There it goes, Brother Sean.
Oh.
Yeah. And so maybe this could give people a perspective. Like you could show the 2-dimensional one, and then you can show, like you can show the one in the middle, then the one at the top, and then the one at the bottom. Type 2-1-3 type fashion. Yeah, you can show 2 first. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So, so I 9 times out of 10 drew these first, even before that master seal one, because 9 times out of 10 I just always draw things, and I just, a lot of times that's why I said no matter how much we get on about softwares or things like that, I always stress. So this one is from the prime vertical's perspective. You see that? Instead of from the horizon, instead of the horizon being on the perimeter. And then I didn't add the ecliptic within there. I put the ecliptic on the outside. So it kind of looks like an eyeball a little bit. Right?
Like the CBS little logo or the third eye symbol.
Mm-hmm. As you can still see all, are we seeing all 5 here? Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. I just didn't put the equator, obviously. The celestial equator I didn't project here in this drawing. However, I showed the meridian, the horizon, the prime vertical, right? The ecliptic, right? All right, you can go to 1. So I wanted to see what that would look like. But this one where the horizon is the plate, and then I like took some circles and then I kind of cut them and gutted them so that they could fit within the plate and within inside each other. And then I also had put a zodiac on the outside so I wanted to see some things, right? So as you can see, slowly but surely, I'm building that one where you see me holding, you know, a 3-dimensional astral chart. All right, you can go to 3. So it's coming together. I'm like, I think I can do this. Where I'm actually looking at, you know, technically, you know, looking at you can go to the one where I'm holding it with the 3D mirror. So yeah, I'm actually looking at my actual natal chart. And I think that took me 1, maybe 2 or 3 different charts so that I could see my chart in a 3-dimensional form. You can zoom in, bro. Please. So yeah, you can kind of see sort of. Some things you can see, some things you can't, but those papers are the way I got it set. You see, I got them fitting inside each other. So there's more than just doing things online, guys, and just making a coloring book and things of that nature. And I know that my colleagues internationally, you know, that are astrologers. Alrighty, I know you guys, we're all participating. You know, I'm here at the North Gate. I know there are people near the, what they call Finland, Australia, Great Britain. You know, we're in class together, all of us across the world, you know, internationally. You know, we're all together on, you know, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have a break this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday due to, you know, the celestial activities. Good Friday, Passover, and Easter as they're termed. However, you know, I know that, you know, they're all, you know, in attendance also on these lives at times, or even when they're catching the archive, the playback. So yeah, it's more than just being online, guys, and just talking. There's some real manufacturing going on around here. All right, Trust Show and Tell is over now. For me, that is, for right now. And I yield the floor back to my beloved brother, whom I'm well pleased, Sean Alim. Islam. Was that good, Brother Jag?
Sí, ciertamente.
Islam.
I was muted and shit. I'm yelling. Islam. Yes. However, still, also the visual, the what it is, I sent it. Astronomy, astrology in your perspective. That's what it's called. Type that in YouTube.
Okay. All right. Brother Sean can do that. How many more testimonies y'all have with this?
3.
All right, we can do that after these 3 testimonies. Like that's a bet. That's a bet. Okay, I see now.
That was great though, bro. Word up. Seriously though, because you showed that physically.
Yes.
Without the software. Again.
Yes. You know, I like us to be able to take our software and our books and then be able to make things and create things so that we can better comprehend things. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we build things, it actually does things to our consciousness. It connects different neurons in our brain. However, I yield you for Islam.
Islam, I concur.
Islam. Alrighty. Back to our regularly scheduled uplifting and not programming, right? Alrighty. We're back in 2009, you know, my graduation year physically, Islam, right? All right, we've got at Rio Grande, Brazil. And we have Capricorn on the rise at 5 degrees, 46 minutes at the degree of sleep and trance, right? Capricorn is ruled by Saturn So we have that exalted Saturn in the 10th house of public relations, right? We have Jupiter and Neptune in the 3rd house, right? So when it comes to Jupiter being ethics for the social conscience, for the awareness, and we have Neptune there, kind of like a hidden oppression. Like people probably at this time could have been, feeling like there's like some kind of hidden enemies or some kind of hidden opposition, whether it be with them or within the group at this time. With Jupiter as well, this is a great time to be, people studying contracts about that kind of way. And with Neptune being in Aquarius, I'm going to look back to see what kind of technologies were brought forth at this time. Not only for the upliftment, but for other uses as well pertaining to that. Jupiter, laying the foundation or plans or hopes for the future. And then even with, Neptune being here in Aquarius, we can all look back and just see, what was our early education like? How was our awareness at this point? And that is all, coming through in an exalted Saturn and Libra in the 10th house. So, with the ascendant being a sleep and trance, it's like, pay attention, right? Because, Neptune's illusions, ascendant is, sleep and trance. So, if you snooze, you lose, so this is at a time where with Saturn being in the 10th, being at home and being exalted. So it's a really great time where he was bringing, growth lessons, just balancing out things. So when it comes to, so-called government or, public, publicities, or, just any long-term goals that you were working on or other people are working on, it was a time where balance could have been brought if you were ready for it, if you, worked with the grain and not against the grain, just like Mike Jones say, I got to work my wood grain wheel, right? So, you're going to work with it or work against it. And, with that Mars, now, back in 2009, Luna, you're thinking about the, your subconscious or, just how you think, or your soul, however you like to look at this, reflecting a retrograde Mars and Leo in the 8th house. So now you take your emotions, now you do it for the humanity, do it for, be the humanitarian that we all are. And now that drive for that can be transformed when you merge or talk to people about that, in whatever sorts of fashions that you would like to do that, right? And I think for that testimony, I shall yield. You get me out of there. And now we just head into the next slide, right? So now this is all back at April 12th, 2022. All right. We have Gemini on the rise at 6 degrees, 58 minutes. Shout out to my Mercury brother Jag, brother Regulus, right? All right, and we know Gemini is ruled by Mercury, but first we're going to get into Jupiter and Neptune being in the 10th house, right? So when it comes to the philosophy, because truth is universal. So when it comes to, philosophies is a great time to dive into, those different philosophies, those different books, those different literatures, so that now when you go out into the world, coming from the home or just coming from being in solitude, you'll be able to relate with others because now you know the foundation, so you can see through all the different stories when it comes to that. And with Neptune being there, there's the opportunity just to see through the smoke and mirrors when it comes, to any so-called plagues or epidemics, because when there's always something, for everyone to watch, or hey, look at this, there's always something else going on elsewhere. As they say, don't be fooled by the distractions, right? And yes, so now with Jupiter, now you look past, okay, you're studying your literature, or now you're starting to study your literature. Now you can start to relate with others. Now there's this opportunity to connect, and you're not plagued by the plagues and epidemics and all the other distractions going on. So now you can start getting to the work of chopping away at yourself, looking at ways that you, did some mistakes here and there. It's, this is a self-undoing opportunity because now everything is being revealed to you and you're having this clarity. Now with Neptune, it's self-undoing with Jupiter, and now you can start to get into some work behind the scenes for yourself, or also for others, for those who haven't upheld their contracts or been honorable. The light can come about these behind the scenes activities, right? And with Jupiter, for others at this time, it's really a good time to look at the inner you. Who are you? Once again, come get you a reading, whether it's, the mirrors or the other topics we have. This is a great time. I know we said it before over and over on the Astro Weather Reports, but now with this conjunction, it's really a great time just to look at who you are and get to know who you are, so that when you step out from the solitude, and you remove yourself from the limited beliefs, now your public image can be strong and sturdy and not be an illusion. Because, at any point, we're all going to be tested at some point on our foundation and what we're about. So when it comes to that status and, your public image, are you going to be the guru, the teacher, the truth, or are you going to be caught up in the illusions of Neptune and the water and, and have that so-called, public image ruined by not being truth or being clear? As Jupiter, is the clarity, Neptune is the fog. So not to get long-winded, just to wrap it up, B. 10th house for the Libra zone for Brazil and surrounding areas. If you're going to plot and strategize, let it be in truth, let it be in love and harmony, and not to the lower self illusions that would like otherwise. And for that, I shall yield. And I will throw that back to my awesome bro, Brother Jag. Roll out.
All right. Where we going?
Managua, Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Watch your mouth. I'm telling mama, you cussing. So let me stop.
All right. Let's see what we got going on here. That's funny how that keep happening though, bro. Because you mentioned that Mars being in Leo and Scorpio on the rise. It's interesting.
Still I rise.
She always comes out, man. That's funny. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right, so that Jupiter and Neptune conjunction is hanging out in the 4th. They're doing their thing in the 4th house. Mars is in the 10th house, though. Look at that. You just went hard on the 10th house, too, bro. It's interesting. And the Sun is in the 2nd, doing this thing with Jupiter and Neptune. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, so we had 2009, of course, right? December 21st. We're going back to the future. Yeah, so here specifically, this was a big change in, like, I would say the foundation of this culture or this locality, so to speak. Everything around this time within this energy, how the collective were used to things, it was a very, very intense change and very sort of detrimental and harmful, but at the same time needed, so we can go to where it's best beneficial for us as, individuals. However, also as within our genealogies or our consanguinity, the people we're closest to, our family, so to speak, quote unquote. Excuse me. The moon got that accidental dignity too. Accidental dignity. Oh wow. What, 09? 2009. Yeah, this was so like people like when like the disconnect that most individuals experienced from home, so to speak, like there was this most people have a comfort zone, so to speak. So that disconnect from that comfort zone brought a very intense change that really helped mold, the character of each individual, so to speak. This is specifically, for a locality. However, this is also global because we all experience this transit at a different time around December 21st, 2009. So, the way we were changing our ways of being and the things that we indulge in and how we spend our time, what we do with our time, and how we have or how we would like to formulate our upbringing from how we were, raised. All of those things were just changing, and it was just very intense. However, very beautiful because what you got going on here? You got the center of regeneration, right? So you're talking about the ascendant. Yeah, so yeah, that's funny. And the back, the Mars is at the back degree, right? That's what that's funny. So you yeah, you knew who had your back and who didn't, basically. You had to literally regenerate yourself to, really get comfortable with it, because most people are comfortable with not being a leader or being themselves. They would rather have someone choose for them and things of that sort. That isn't needed always. It does come in handy, when you can extend or take someone else's thoughts pertaining to whatever situation. However, this was the molding moment to realizing the difference between truth and falsehood, so to speak. Even if not, like if you've never heard those words before, it was still it was like the seed planted at this moment, so to speak. And it was very regenerating, literally. But we're going to move on to the 12th again for this area in this moment, for Jupiter and Neptune conjunction, right? So this happened in the 4th house 13 years ago. Oh, excuse me. I have the things to go. However, in this chart, the 2021 chart, can we go to that chart, bro? Can we get that one going? Not 2021, 2022, I mean.
22.
22. Jupiter is having
Pardon me.
That conjunction is going to happen in the 11th. So look at that. That's funny. Look, that's the regeneration again, because that's like 8th house energy. The 4th will be
From
the 8th. Yeah, from the 11th. That's hilarious.
Both foes is typical.
You're hilarious. Goodness gracious. Paul Wall. What I got Taurus again on the ascendant. All right.
Yes, bro. Yes.
So Venus is, of course, in Pisces, because we're back to the future, to the moment. Yeah, this is interesting. It's that group economics. But then again, there's a separation too, though, because there's something that's not helping the collective at large. So that has to go. And then the thing that is, it's really just being formulated in a more structured format. The 11th house is again, the nations of the world, so to speak. That's how I like to look at that. So that goes back to that tree thing Brother Benjamin brought up. So we can see, we'll be consistently seeing that, you know, for the times to come. 11 minutes a day? Yeah, so like the next, like, what we got for that? Maybe a month, maybe a whole moon cycle, really. We'll be seeing a lot of differences within contracts and contracts that have been written already, and new contracts being written for, you know, certain body politics to connect with other body politics and things of that sort. What you say, bro?
No, I wouldn't need, bro. You good.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's very potent with this Jupiter Neptune, especially in the 9th house. And then Venus is in the 10th. So again, we're connecting to our status, which pertains to our nation, because your status is relative to your nationhood. So, you know, again, where do you come from? What's your natural or national identity? This is being unified in some sense, as well as it's being separated. So there could be a separation from those ones who do not know their national descent. They would rather be idiots, specifically, which denotes someone who never would wish to know their nationality. I'm paraphrasing, something along those lines. That's an idiot. But yes, so now we're formulating and or seeing how things within nations or body politics really work, what is needed for those things to really be actual, structured, not just frivolous. Oh God, here we go. Not just frivolous, you know, accounting, you know, doing it for fame or whatever means that most beings do things for nowadays. That's not the case. We're removing, oh goodness, he's back. We're removing the limitations again. That's very potent. However, we're observing the limitations very prudently as well. Yes. So we see where the limitations lie within ourselves and within some other whatever we're dealing with. And now there's a process that we go through to really grasp the beauty that has been laid before us, like before our physical, you know, shell this time. Like there's things that we have that we can utilize now in this moment that has been processed in the past for us to, again, utilize them now. So we're seeing what that is, and we're seeing how we can utilize that for the benefit of everyone collectively rather than for the detriment and a more selfish gain, which has been the energy for times that we have been experiencing, but from the times to come, that is pretty much fading away. And we get to experience it. I think that's pretty cool. And with that, I will yield the floor. Islam. Is it to Brother Benjamin again?
Neptune conjunct Leo. Neptune conjunct Jupiter in Leo's zone. All God's Reserve. We're talking about 13 years ago here, December 21st, 2009. This was a Monday, This wasn't Intuition Monday just yet, but you know, me and brother, I was in high school. Yeah, I'm like 10th grade, and brother Sean is like leaving high school at this point. But we were talking about Manzala, Montesian, Mexico. Am I saying that right? Datlan.
Mazatlan. There we go.
Mazatlan, Mexico. That's a beautiful name.
I hope I'm saying that right.
Mazatlan, Mexico. On the rise at 24 degrees, 3 minutes Libra. That is the musical degree. And that is ruled by Venus. And the ascendant ruler, of course, just spoke about it. Venus at 24 degrees, 28 minutes Sagittarius. In the third house of communications, they're next to the sun. So she's in council with the train. But we're here to talk about the conjunction in the fourth house. There with Jupiter and Neptune. So right now we are definitely trying to find some type of overall balance in the home that we can, that we're seeking some counsel or some older, like say grandma. Grandma's like, you know, grandma's giving the whole group, you know, some guidance and some wisdom right now. That's what grandma's doing, that you can take into the public and, you know, affirm you yourself and your ego, because you have Mars there in Leo. So you want to be seen, you want to be heard, but don't be too overbearing. You know, don't be like, oh, my grandma said, so I'm a woo. Yeah, we get it. So let grandma be, you know, our foremothers and fathers. Yes, our foremothers and fathers, you know, were the mothers, fathers of civilization. But that don't mean we got to be like spoiled brats about that, you know, because, you know, we need healing. And what grandmother is telling us, or this guru, or this, you know, reality, this conduit is sprinkling that reality in our falsehood that we were given, you know, prior to coming here. So she's washing away that falsehood with her experiences that brought her the reality of the situations here, and that she saw in her home, and that she's telling to you in your home. And you're like, oh man, when you something via internet now, it'll be from that foundation. You know, you're not gonna be like, oh, grandma said, but you're gonna have your foremothers and forefathers speech in your demonstration, you know, via internet, you know, via friends, you know, via anything you do. You're gonna make sure that they live, or even though they're, you know, still here, that they're living through how you live and how you carry yourself. And that's a healing process, because you have Chiron there, Chiron is healing. So you're gonna take your emotions and heal them, you know, in the comfort of your home. And you're gonna take that counsel from those that you're comfortable taking that from, and balance yourself out, you know, and reconstruct yourself, you know, and you do a great game from that. And I'll yield. For 13 years ago, you know, you've gotten the game of life from grandma, and you've taken that out into the public, you know, aggressively, and you stand firm on it. So now we're here, April 12th, 2022, Tuesday, day of Mars. We are still talking about that was wrong, Mexico. The ascendant here is Taurus, 2 degrees, 40 minutes. That is the degree of plot and strategy. Ooh, sounds like some Taurus stuff. You kind of like plot and strategy when you plant things. You know, you got to plot to see where some good terrain is. You know, open that soil up. You know, strategize the measurements of, you know, how far apart you want your seeds are. And that's some scientific work there. All right, so we're speaking about the 12th house here. The 12th house has what we're looking for, the conjunction between reality, Jupiter, and falsehood, Neptune, but a global reality, because we're speaking about, you know, different areas on this lovely earth that we share, and we don't hold, you know, certain resources, you know, since we're talking about Taurus. So we're talking about the resources, the values, and the values are in the earth. So if we preserve earth, we preserve ourselves, and we preserve our values and portion them out. So right now we have a great chance to expand on that thought, or expand on, you know, what's, you know, hindering our ego, so to speak, because you have the sun there. The sun's in the 12th house. So over here on like the southeastern side of things, that's gonna be a great time to collect yourself before going amongst the people, because the sun is going up. So, you know, it's not getting, you know, darker. So you're gonna be thinking yourself just, you know, rising and then walking walking out of the door, meeting people, you know, and now, you know, the 11th house, it'll be a group. Like you're already networking with nature when you walk outside. So just make sure that you've anchored yourself within what you have gathered in your beliefs that, you know, what's falsehood to you that you can make, you know, reality and seek to heal others with that when you go out your door in service, you know, which is the 6th house, and that has Libra on it. So right there, you got some balance. So you're not going to be outside deliberately doing that, but you have an essence to you where you can, you know, create balance wherever you are when you go amongst, you know, your everyday things, you know, like the 6th house, the hustle house. So, you know, just take down and also write down those dreams. You know, it's a great time to write down those dreams. With Chiron there in Aries, you know, don't be like an injury to the head of certain things that make you think not so highly of yourself. You know, those 12th house things. You know, you go in the world, you're doing your thing, but in the back of your head, there's always something that's there. And this is a great time to sit down and Google yourself, you know, mirror yourself, you know, bring out your circle 7 or whatever, you know, philosophy of book of life that you choose to see yourself in. You know, they're all the same at the end of the day, you know, whether you just like taking your water out of a cup, and this person like taking their water out of a bottle. You know, the thing is, you know, how do you quench your thirst? So right here in the 12th house, how are you going to relate the falsehoods and, you know, transmute those into reality and not live on the falsehood, but live on the reality? I'm not saying, you know, the falsehood is bad or anything, but, you know, sometimes we need to kind of step away and use that falsehood for art. You know, you want to bring the abstract through, you know, things that are typically aren't seen in the world. You know, I'm sure SpongeBob is a sponge, but there isn't a SpongeBob in the world, you know, type deal. You know, you don't want to live like actually seeing SpongeBob in the world, kind of like people think they actually see colors of people in the world when they actually have a nationality that they're identified by and not by, you know, something that describes them, you know, type energy. You know, but wrapping it up, all in all, this Neptune conjunct Jupiter in the 12th house, seek to heal yourself, what you feel that has been hindering you, that's some BS. So if you feel like it was BS and it's making you second guess yourself, get rid of it so you can genuinely go out and balance others, you know, within themselves and out you.
Indeed, bro. Indeed. Appreciate you for that hot fire radiation.
I guess you could share what Brother Jag put in there. I kind of like put the, you know, the what is that? The exclamations to it. But that's what Brother Jag was just talking about briefly. Those two, you know, videos. I guess not sure which portions. I'm not sure if he got the clip portion of it or whatnot. But you see it there in the text.
Yeah, no, I don't have the clip portion, no. But however, it is for them to watch. Yes.
It's long. I guess you can just share them real quick, Brother Sean. Maybe I could put those videos in the description too.
It's long. That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
All right. I'll put those in the description then. That's what I'll do. 1755 Eastern 555.
It's long.
I yield the floor to you all. It's long.
All right. Yeah. That was it. So you know, Jupiter conjunct Neptune.
So 13 years from now, we can see, you know, what Jupiter Neptune thing is happening. As far as like, you know, like today was kind of like a Jupiter Neptune thing earlier. You know, as far as like, you know, I'm thinking about it.
Man, like over the course, like all last week up until now.
Trying to see things as one and get the falsehood and the illusion out of things, and use law and justice and, you know, reality of things.
It's long.
So like take Jupiter being let's say being a leaf blower and Neptune as an illusion, as the dust under your rug. Hey, we come in a clean house, baby. You know,
Building castles. Neptune is building castles on sand. Quoting the Quran. Would Neptune be building castles on sand?
You can say that to a certain extent, because you're maybe having kind of like ideas of grandeur that be trying to initialize or institute something that may not have a stable foundation, possibly. That's a possibility. Over dreaming, overconfidence with Jupiter conjuncted, of course.
But we know Neptune is beautiful when it's utilized properly, though, too. So, we're not saying it's a negative planet, so to speak, connotatively speaking.
It's Venus's higher vibration, and if it's basically you chop Venus's top half of her the circle portion of the glyph, take that top half, and it looks like like curved. And what you do is you now take it and you turn it in alignment with the actual vertical. So it gives you the chalice now. So now it's like now we open up Venus to now receive, so to speak. So the higher vibration to Venus is Neptune.
Islam, higher love.
So now it's the chalice. So people say, oh, it's the trident. To, when you look at a two-dimensional thing with a three-dimensional perspective, you begin to see the chalice, the holy grail, so to speak, Neptune's glyph. All right. And so Neptune would, in that sense, technically be feminine. Technically. All right. And it's just being able to reconcile when we come across these different glyphs and see these things. How do we reconcile them when we see them and make them simple? Because, as you can see, as you saw, the master seal was some simple lines and circles and semicircles. Mm-hmm. And it's usually, the simple things that are truth.
Just simple things. And then you get the guitar. I just want simple things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah.
You're hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I was just saying, like,
that's the vibe.
Islam. And I'll make sure I put that in the description because we got the thumbnails done already, you know what I mean? And we're gonna keep it moving. I just commented in one of those discussions. So go and check those Astro discussions, brothers. Maybe I'll forward it to you just so you guys.
Astro grinding.
We gotta stay in contact with our international colleagues now.
Hello, mates.
Hello.
Stay in the spirit of pertaining to our honorable ancient foremothers and forefathers. This isn't just, one being that we know. Shout out to our beloved daughter in whom we're well pleased, Jay. Even though people get confused sometimes in her posts, sometimes, but when you know somebody, you know why they do certain things, you just leave them to do their things and create. But like she says, we're not a part of the never-ending talent show. So, that's sometimes how social media looks. It's like a never-ending talent show. And we're not necessarily participating in a never-ending talent show. We just can be able to allow ourselves to utilize the different things that we have that are termed gifts and talents or whatever, and be able to focus in utilizing them for a means where we can get people to comprehend certain things about other things, with what it is that we're bringing, just because Brother Jag plays the guitar on an Instagram live doesn't mean, oh, well, now he's trying to, whatever, do something that's not astrological. Well, you guys may need to look up Michael Earlywine and then shut up, respectfully. I mean, I'm just saying, like when I found out, Brother Jay, like, man, the guitar and astrology, you're into it. Who's the first being I suggested as far as the book?
It was Mikey. It was Michael Earl. Yeah, and it's funny, he's a Cancer. Yeah.
Michael Earlywine, astrologer and guitarist.
Yeah. He said, you know what? I just gave up the tar because it was astrology was just like but it's not my path. However, yeah, I get why he said, you know what? I'll just take my talents to astrology.
Islam. Well, I yield the floor. It's on Brother Sean and Brother Benjamin. I say my namaste.
Close it out. Right. It's all right. Thanks to everybody that showed up. We was a little behind scheduling, but things.
You all right.
So hey, we here. We made it. And it's plenty enough we just did for you to go get lost in the Neptune dream illusions in a good way, right? So peace and love to everybody. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, my awesome bros, Brother Benjamin, Brother Jack, Brother Hassan. It's the 7HealStar.
Corey back there too. He doing his thing.
Oh yeah, Brother Corey is still in the box. Yeah.
In the back. Yeah. It's so funny, yo. When we were doing what we were doing and all of that was happening, it made me think like, yo, when people are producing films, what's happening behind the scenes is probably the funniest thing ever.
Indeed.
Try to hold that together and get your delineation.
You have to. Like, what? That is hilarious.
Steel sharpen steel, bros.
He gonna come in like that, yo.
Y'all are hilarious. Wow, hilarious.
Oh man. All right.
It was dipping in Durban, you heard me? And what was that? That made me think of it. It was like, what was it? And I was like, no, that's what I was.
Oh my goodness. Islam. And yo, people, check where this Jupiter and Neptune is happening in your chart. Do that for yourself. Do yourself some justice.
Yes. Wherever that Pisces lands in your chart.
Islam.
See where you're not seeing the reality in things.
Islam.
All right. I guess we'll get ready for some other things. All right. Peace and love. Thank you, world. Thank you, Earth. Thank you, Midgard. Like, share, subscribe, and
yourselves. And
all right, and next time you'll see us will be on Wednesday.
It is Monday. Oh my goodness.
I got the iPad thing all in the way, and then it looks all like weird. That's why I don't really use this camera as much. I always got to adjust it because of the lighting.
It looked like that filter I'm using on Instagram, but like,
yeah. I'm gonna just not use it. I'm gonna not use it. It's all
Islam.
All right. We out. 7HealStar. We are out.
7HealStar out.
Peace and love.
Islam.
Meta peace and love too.
Peace. Meta peace. Goodness.
He said meta peace and love.
Goodness gracious. He has to.
He just Ron Artest the outro.
Yes, he Ron Artest.
He ran in the stadium.
Takes it and makes it his own.
The states.
Running in the church. In the church.
Yeah. Let me just
Meta peace and Astro hair.
Brother Sean is in the stands.
This is the longest outro ever. No, I'm kidding, yo. I'm kidding. I know we may possibly have a meeting possibly at 8 p.m. So we'll see how that goes. Islam, beloved brothers, peace and love.